we've only got ourselves another tough guy. Right, so I wanted to make this one for a while now, and person I want to talk about is Martyn Ford. Martyn Ford. First came across him a few years ago when I was watching the old Rich Piana videos and everything, and he's a British chap who was one of Rich Piana's 5%ers, you know, so he's a sponsored athlete, I think. So he's about 6'5", 6'7", something like that, covered in tattoos, lot of gear use, you know, jacked up on gear, and now works in Hollywood. So I'm not taking anything away from the bloke. He's done well. Rich Piana gave him some good pointers at the beginning, you know, said, you know, always be nice to people, always be positive, you know, you're big enough, you got the look, you can go and do work in Hollywood, and you know, he's worked in, I think, Fast and Furious 9, I think he was in that. He's done some other videos, a lot of other sort of, you know, sort of low budget stuff. He always plays a certain character, some sort of berserker type, or a, you know, some sort of monstrous fighter or something like that, warrior type. So yeah, not taking anything away from the guy's hard work and what he's achieved. He's done really well, especially coming from where he came from, which is Birmingham. Birmingham is a northern part of the UK, and he's got a funny old Birmingham accent, and I don't care what you say. We got some great accents in the UK, but Birmingham's not one of them. Birmingham, you could be a neuroscientist, you could be Einstein, you know, you could be one of the most intelligent people on the planet. But if you got a Birmingham accent, you just don't sound smart. Yeah, all right, I'm from Birmingham, and I mean, it is the dumbest sounding accent. Like I say, you can be super smart, but if you got a Birmingham accent, you're cursed. So probably some elocution lessons to get rid of that Birmingham accent if he really wants to go far and do some speaking roles. But like I say, not taking anything away from his work ethic, his training, everything, all good, all positive. But, and there's always a but, fake tough guy, come on Martyn. I know it's hard, you know, it's like that old saying, you know, when you see bodybuilders, great body, but what can you do with it? You know, you got all this external sort of tough guy look, but you know, most of them are so mentally weak and fragile, especially if they're posing on stage. They're dehydrated, you know, weak as kittens. But Rich Piana fell into it a little bit as well. He got into the sort of MMA, wanted to be MMA fighter, sort of doing some training for video, boxing on the bag, you know, punching the bags. Unfortunately, because you got this image, you feel like you have to back it up. So this is why a lot of these wannabe tough guys, you know, they hang around with MMA fighters, they talk the talk, don't they? But very, very seldom walk the walk. Now, I remember ages ago, Martyn Ford was talking it up about he wants to get in the MMA world, he wants to do a couple of fights and MMA, and you know, I was like, wow, that's great, you know, he's good shape, you know, he's a bit of a specimen, quite a unit, as they say. I thought that'd be good, you know, really sort of, you know, fill the area that he's lacking, because it's got all the looks, all the muscle, all the go, all the talk, you know, let's just tick that box and it'd be complete, you know. But unfortunately it was all talk, you know. So he was talking it up about being in MMA, he was gonna have a fight and all this stuff. Never happened. There was lots of talk, never happened. And then it all went quiet, and it was like, you know, it was like a blah blah moment where you're supposed to forget what's been said, and you know, that's the past, and I was trolling, guys, you know, it was one of those moments. So I was a bit disappointed, you know, especially coming from a martial art background myself. So a bit disappointed there, and it all went quiet, you know, and he was doing his acting and all that stuff. And then And then out of nowhere, the boxing thing came in with the Iranian Hulk, which is some fat, obese bloke from Iran who likes to doctor and Photoshop his pictures to make himself look like a lump. And then it almost got there, didn't it? It almost got there where they had a face-off. And it turned out the Iranian Hulk was like down here and he was just obese. And Martyn gave him a good shove and he fell over like a... like a top heavy sort of spinning top. I don't know, he just fell over because he was so fat and had no coordination or movement. He just fell backwards and rolled around, lopped around like a turtle on his back, you know, needed help getting up. So it was a bit ridiculous. Martyn then said, oh, I don't want to hurt him, because he felt like he would beat him up, piece him up and hurt him. But again, it's all talk, isn't it? It's all talk. I think maybe they just staged that to get a bit more clout, you know, to get a bit more you know, coverage on in the newspapers, because some of the tabloids here picked it up. And you know, any publicity is good publicity, right? Especially when you're in the acting sort of game, in the social media game. So again, Martyn, stop, you know, do your acting, act like a tough guy. That's great, do that, you're good at that. But you're not a tough guy, because if you were a tough guy, you'd get your ass in the ring or on the mat or in a cage, you know. Just do not talk about it. There's nothing worse than a fake, a pretend tough guy. You know, the proof is in the pudding. Actions speak louder than words and all the other cliches, you know. If you're a tough guy and you like fighting, you'd be doing it. You'd be doing it twice a week, 3 times a week. You'd be in a cage, you'd be training, yeah? You're not a tough guy. You're a good actor. Don't know if you're Oscar worthy yet or BAFTA worthy yet, but you know what you do, you found your niche and you're doing your thing, man. And you're successful and your Instagram's very nice and you got the cars and the house. That's all good, very nice. But you're not a tough guy. So please, no more talk about MMA, no more talk about boxing, because that's all it is talk, isn't it? Anyway guys, hope you found that informative. Please let me know what you think of Martyn Ford in the comments down below, and I'll speak to you when we expose another tough guy in another video. I'm out of here.
You just gotta grind.
Yeah.
I feel like this next generation that's coming up, and I don't mean to smash all of them, but they seem like a bunch of pussies to me, you know? So because of that, there's never been more opportunity than there is right now. If you're a fucking savage and you get out there and you grind hard and you want it bad enough, you can run all these guys over, man. This next generation is just such a fucking group of pussies, man. I just, for the small group of savages out there, run these fucking kids right.